Here's the deal. It's not about you, it's about them. So when you're creating content, ask yourself, what is the end goal of this piece? What will it provide for my audience? Hey, my name is Jenna Kutcher, and I am obsessed with all things business, marketing, numbers, and helping you to navigate both the messy and the magical seasons of this thing called life. I'm a small town mama who took a $300 camera, grew a successful photo biz, and now I work from home and run a 7-figure online business. I teach you the tried and true secrets to building a career you adore. Shy away from the real talk? No way. Money, hardship, growth, loss, and marketing are all topics we discuss here. Think of this as your one-stop shop for happy hour with a gal pal mixed with business school. Pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be challenged and encouraged while you learn. This is the Goal Digger Podcast. Let's talk traffic. You all know that I'm a firm believer that those who pay attention, meaning that generally when we invest in ourselves and our businesses, we tend to follow through and execute on that investment because we've bought in with something more than just our time. However, this Midwestern gal grew up with super resourceful parents who worked hard and found ways to provide fun experiences and memories for us at little to no cost. Like going to the library and spending our days perusing the shelves and sitting in the comfy chairs, or the way my mom would let us pick out a toy at Target that we could play with while in the cart, but we had to put back before we left the store. I mean, I'm all for forking over a few bucks for tools and systems that can propel my business forward, but I also fully realize that sometimes budgets take precedence, or we just don't have the wherewithal to invest in something new and shiny all the time. In fact, I was the biggest penny pincher in my early days of entrepreneurship. While I thoughtfully chose a handful of certain resources to invest in, I was also all about getting gritty and creative and finding, testing, and utilizing any and all free strategies that would help my business and traffic grow organically. I'm talking with no paid ads or pricey tools in sight. So today I want to share my top 5 favorite free ways to grow your online presence, web traffic, and business leads completely and utterly organically. Goal diggers everywhere are boosting their businesses with Comment Sold. This all-inclusive e-commerce and social selling platform allows you to host engaging live video sales, automate your workload, and get support along the way. The Comment Sold team is offering Goal Digger listeners a free ring light when you sign up for a 30-day free trial. Visit commentsold.com/goaldigger to learn more. This episode is made possible by Tailwind. Create, schedule, and post to Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook, all from the Tailwind suite. Tailwind is offering a special deal for Goal Digger listeners. If you haven't tried Tailwind yet, go to tailwindapp.com/Jenna to get $30 off your Tailwind subscription. First up, and this one might really excite you, commit to posting consistently on one social media platform. That's right, just one. And if you're already rocking the social media game, bravo to you. I know so many business owners who are in the weeds of client communication and product and service development or delivery who would like to show up on social media, but feel too overwhelmed or just straight up too busy to tackle it. And it kind of makes sense too, right? Like with a million ways that you can show up just on Instagram alone, from reels to static posts to stories to lives to IGTV to DMs. I mean, man, it can feel downright all-consuming trying to take all of that on top of running your business. Add in all the other platforms along with the new ones that keep popping up like TikTok or Clubhouse. And of course, it's scary and stressful to try and tackle all of that and do it all well and consistently to make any kind of indent in the social media sphere. That's why entire jobs exist to handle company social media needs. There are almost too many options and places for one person to handle and manage, especially if that one person is also in charge of things like running an entire business and serving clients at the same time. But here's what I want for you to think about. If you could pick just one platform that you know your target audience hangs out on, which, by the way, is likely going to be a different platform for every business type, and you commit to just start showing up there consistently in the way that feels most natural to you, wouldn't that be better than not showing up at all? It's a yes. The answer is yes. So look at what medium you're naturally drawn to. If it's photography, then maybe it's Instagram or Facebook. If you always communicate through voice text, maybe you should have a podcast or go on Clubhouse. If you don't mind being on video, perhaps it's YouTube or going live on Facebook or Instagram. If you love to write, maybe you should have a blog, an email list, or write in captions or quotes. There are different ways to use and express any natural gift you have through the many ways you can show up and serve online. So think about this. Which way of showing up is easiest for you, most approachable for you to be consistent at? And where are your clients searching to find what you do? Oh, and by the way, when I say show up consistently, I don't mean that you have to show up every single day of the week. Consistently means finding a rhythm that works for you and with you and sticking to it so that you can post content that isn't just filler, like the blog content that you feel obligated to share, but stuff that actually makes sense and engages your ideal audience and speaks to them in a real and meaningful way. That can mean posting once a week, or it could mean posting 5 days a week, or it could mean every Tuesday, Thursday, like whatever works for you and your lifestyle and your business. That's more important than trying to keep up with the ever-changing algorithms or trends on social. Now, I know you've heard this, but consistency is kind of like the magic pixie dust that contributes most heavily to success. In an article on Forbes.com about why content consistency is the key to an incredible marketing strategy, the author found that after 6 months of posting on social media consistently, their clients' blog traffic increased by 90% and their followers increased by 8% to 30% on various social media platforms. The article also shared that consistent brands are worth 20% more than those with inconsistencies in their messaging. What I found is that when you're consistent, your confidence grows. And when your confidence grows, showing up just becomes this natural integration into your life. And when that happens, your bandwidth expands to show up in even more ways. So start small and work big, but prove to yourself first that you're capable of showing up on one platform consistently. Like pick that platform, commit to showing up regularly and with content that's interesting and engaging for your ideal clients, and then you'll start reaping the rewards. Now, number 2, you can also team up with other content creators and partner together to promote one another's content. This is a great way to grow your traffic if you know of and follow content creators either in a similar business or industry as yours or who have target audiences similar to the ones you serve. It's also helpful if you have around the same amount of followers so that you both feel more inclined to support one another. When I was just getting started, I would do this thing called Follow Fridays with other girls where we'd share about one another and talk about why we were inspired by them and what kind of content they shared. Now, I haven't done this in years, but it was super fun and it was a great way to expand my audience's inspiration. And now with extra tools like Reels and IG Live with guests and Instagram stories, there's even more ways for you to share the love. So get creative here. Make sure you focus on adding value to your audience and to their audience, and make sure it feels exciting to give the invitation for your audience to follow another person. The most important part of a collaboration like this is finding the intersection between both of your audiences and a way to serve everyone effectively. That means you probably don't just want to post each other's handles in a caption and simply tell your followers to go follow them, because that doesn't really add any obvious value to their feeds or make it exciting or intriguing for them to actually do it. Ask yourself how you can create synergy between brands or people and share in each other's audiences. So here's a few productive ways to partner with other content creators. You could do things like going live together to teach on a subject interesting to both of your audiences, doing a Q&A on one or both of your channels on a topic your communities are interested in, hosting a giveaway for a product or service from each of your businesses that your communities would find valuable, doing an Instagram story takeover on each other's stories to teach or share something impactful, hosting a free or low price workshop to talk or teach about something your audiences would both find compelling, Sharing a Follow Friday roundup of content creators in similar industries as yours and sharing exactly what you love about them that your followers would also find interesting and helpful. Even reposting other content creators' posts in your Instagram stories and tagging their profile name is a super easy way to get their attention and to potentially have them reshare your share. I know it's sort of meta, but it can be a simple way to get your profile in front of a new audience with less than 30 seconds of effort by simply sharing and tagging another person's content. Next up, you're going to want to think through your long-term and longer form content strategy. So while you might not get as many eyes on a blog post right away as you feel like you do on a social media post, which let's be honest, only about 6% of our audience even sees what we share, long-form content can be super effective for your long game. Social media posts live and die within a few hours, thanks to the algorithm, but long-form content can generate results for weeks, months, even years to come. There's a whole other level of searchability, and when you create long-form content, it's almost like you're building out your own content resource library for those who want what you're sharing. This isn't just about blogs. The same goes for video and audio content if you have a YouTube channel or your own podcast. These long-form traffic drivers are consumed long after being created and are more searchable than something organized chronologically like social media. So think about how you can optimize what you're creating in order to get more traffic. One way to do this is by being thoughtful with your keywords. Keywords are a search engine optimization or SEO term for infusing words and phrases that are commonly searched into your content so that it pulls your content up in search engines more easily. We actually have a few episodes on SEO, so if you're brand new to it or just getting started, head to jennakutcherblog.com and type in SEO in the search box and you can pull up our old episodes there. They're super helpful. Like, did you know that using the right keywords can actually be incredibly useful for more than just blog content? Like by incorporating strategic keywords into video titles and descriptions, podcast titles and descriptions, blog post headlines and copy, Pinterest pins and descriptions, your content is more likely to pull up when people search for the topics that you cover. So how do you pick strategic keywords to use in this long form content? Well, it can actually be pretty simple. If you just take the topic that you're creating content about and you type in the main words that describe that topic into the Google search bar, and you'll see other words that it populates around this topic. This is also an awesome way to brainstorm content because you can see the top things that people are searching for around a given topic. Side note here too, you can also type it into Pinterest search bar for more keyword ideas on that platform. Whatever pulls up in the headlines on that first page of Google having to do with your topic or whatever auto-populates in the Pinterest search bar are great keywords that you can take and infuse into your title and content. Several options for keywords will come up, but just try to pick one key phrase that you'll weave into your content a few times, and then try popping a few other keywords in organically if you can as well, and utilize description areas everywhere to include keywords so that people can easily find your content when they're searching. If you want to grow your traffic organically, but you don't have a ton of time to devote to that part of running your business, then you likely need a tool that will help you to do it better, faster, and stronger. That's why we love Tailwind on Team Jenna Kutcher. Pinterest scheduling with Tailwind helps you grow your business with more traffic so you can spend more time doing what you love. With Tailwind Create, you're not only automating your pins and sending more traffic to your site, they give you the tools to create with almost done Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest designs tailored specifically for you. Set your logo, fonts, and color palettes one time, and Tailwind Create automatically applies your brand style to every design. That's like a major time saver. When your pins are up, you can use Tailwind's detailed analytics to understand what's working for you across every post, every pin, and every moment. If you can only have one tool for your Pinterest strategy, make it Tailwind. Tailwind is offering a special deal for Gold Digger listeners. If you haven't tried Tailwind yet, go to tailwindapp.com/Jenna to get $30 off your Tailwind subscription. That's tailwindapp.com/Jenna for $30 off your subscription. This is so cool. So if you sell online, did you know that you can convert social media comments into sales and automatically invoice shoppers and manage all aspects of your business with a tool called Comment Sold? Comment Sold is the #1 comment selling platform and total e-commerce solution. This social selling platform allows busy business owners to sell and scale online simply. With Comment Sold, you can host engaging live video sales on social media and your branded mobile app. You can turn comments into shopping carts, automate your workload, and get support along the way. Comment Sold creates engagement, urgency, and allows you to showcase your products in a new way while seamlessly making sales without your customers having to even visit your website. Right now, Comment Sold is offering Goal Digger listeners a free ring light to level up your branded photos and videos when you register for a 30-day free trial. Visit commentsold.com/goaldigger to learn more, start your free trial, and claim your ring light. That's commentsold.com/goaldigger. The fourth way to boost your traffic for free is to revisit your Pinterest strategy. So earlier today, someone asked in our Goal Digger Podcast Insiders Facebook group if Pinterest was still relevant. And I typed in a capital YES exclamation point. I probably was a little too excited, but I will never stop shouting it from the rooftops. Pinterest is the biggest organic traffic driver for my website, and it has been for years. But like many online tools, it changes, and those changes tend to intimidate users into shying away and focusing their efforts elsewhere. But let me tell you, as a pretty big Pinterest devotee, aka their borderline obsessed biggest fan with inside sources directly at Pinterest, I am here to say that playing with the new features is worth it big time. And in fact, Pinterest isn't introducing these new features to confuse and frustrate us. They're doing it to help users like me and you boost our traffic, and to do so totally for free. So our buddies over at Tailwind, the Pinterest scheduling app, sent us a little intel recently that might help you break through some of Pinterest's recent changes. And by the way, the changes weren't anything major. We just went through and updated our course, and it was just a few things that they've tweaked. And their #1 piece of advice was to make more story pins, because story pins can help attract a growing, engaged audience, creating more distribution for your content that has a link. So story pins are kind of similar to Instagram stories. So if you use those, you should already be pretty familiar with the format. And Tailwind's top tips for story pins are to use video early and often, draw people in with an engaging first panel to your story, preferably a video, use more than one panel or story slide, show how to do something start to finish in a super succinct way, and in your last panel or slide, encourage people to go follow you. Tailwind also suggests creating more video pins, which seem to be especially engaging for accounts with fewer than 10,000 followers and tend to drive substantial website traffic. They recommend, too, to focus more on creating fresh pins rather than sharing and saving other pins. So if you took the first strategy from this episode of focusing on just one social media platform consistently, and you picked Pinterest and you're committed to using these tips from Tailwind, you might be shocked to see your traffic skyrocket over the coming weeks and months. Just saying. So finally, the last strategy to increase traffic for free is making sure every piece of your content going out is actually valuable and focused on serving your target audience. Let me be honest for a hot second. None of the strategies we've talked about before this one will make much of a dent in your traffic if adding value isn't your main priority. And that's because your content is building a relationship with your ideal clients and customers. And so uninteresting or poorly put together content can actually hinder that trust and relationship. That means each and every social media post, each and every blog post, each and every pin and podcast episode and YouTube video should be focused on delivering something insightful, helpful, educational, or entertaining to your audience. Here's the deal. It's not about you, it's about them. So when you're creating content, ask yourself, what is the end goal of this piece? What will it provide for my audience? Is it adding something interesting or compelling or useful to their feeds and lives? If you can clearly answer all of those questions, your content will contribute to growing your traffic, because when it's high quality, people are more likely to share, save, engage, and revisit it later on. And bonus, it's more likely to perform better on search engines when it's thoughtful, compelling, and well organized. Additionally, the SEO pros at OptiMonster share that 72% of marketers say that relevant content creation is the single most effective SEO tactic. Relevant meaning that it makes sense and it's appropriate for your target audience. Focus on what makes sense for the people who are following you. They also shared that quality content is known to increase traffic by as much as 2,000%. That's right. Quality content is known to increase traffic by as much as 2,000%. So yes, focus on one social media platform. Get really consistent and confident there. Or focus on growth through connecting and collaborating with other content creators. Or maybe it's time for you to hone in on your content strategy or revisit how you're utilizing Pinterest to drive traffic organically. The biggest thing to keep in mind is that you want to be someone who adds value. Now, here's one final thing to note. I always love when something is free 99. But while we're on the topic of free strategies to grow your traffic, I do want to touch on the fact that just because something is free dollar-wise doesn't necessarily always mean it's the best or smartest move for your business or for your time. For example, if you think about how much money your time costs, like literally what is the actual dollar amount of 1 hour of your time being spent executing these strategies, that might cost you way more in the long run if some of these strategies take you hours and hours to implement each week. And while the strategies and the tools themselves might not cost any money up front, the time they take to complete might take away from your bottom line or in the long run. I just want to point out the fact that the 3 biggest things we spend on our business are time, money, and energy. And in different seasons, you might value one more than the others. So get honest with yourself and do so for every investment you make in growing your business. As we've walked through these, realize that you don't have to do them all at once. You'll be more successful if you approach these strategies and so many others by conjuring the amount of time each task will take you and prioritizing which strategies are most realistic for you to commit your time to. AKA, you don't want to eat up all your time and ultimately take away from your other needle-moving tasks that you should be focusing on every day. It might be helpful to just pick 1 or 2 of them to focus on and weave into your weekly workflow at first. Test them, see how they add to your business or growth over a few weeks or months before revisiting this episode and seeing how you can work a few more into your day-to-day routine. Above all else, wherever you're creating and sharing content, make it content that you'd actually want to consume. Put a little personality into it. Make it fun to read. There's way too much boring or pointless content out there, to be honest, and I know you're the furthest thing from boring. So while these strategies are free and implementable today, they do require some of your thoughtfulness and some of your secret sauce too, because life is way too short to spend your time peddling crummy content. I cannot wait to watch you grow. Hop on over. I want to know, go to Goal Digger Podcast on Instagram and let me know which tip you're starting with first. Maybe you can find an accountability in the comment section so that you can dive in and start taking massive action to start growing your traffic and your results for free. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Goal Digger Podcast. Until next time, keep on digging your biggest goals. I'm over here giving you a virtual high five because you just finished another episode of the Goal Digger Podcast. Did that go by way too fast for anyone else? If you want more, head over to goaldiggerpodcast.com for show notes and all the discount codes from today's sponsors. And if you're looking for a new crew of movers and shakers like you to bounce ideas and ask questions, be sure to join my exclusive community for Goal Diggers on Facebook. The link's waiting for you at goaldiggerpodcast.com.